I'm Mike, the Travelling Scouser, and in this tour of Marrakech, I'm visiting Bahia Palace and also Le Jardin Majorelle. These are two of the most visited landmarks in Marrakech, so come with me for this enthralling tour. So now starting with Bahia Palace, this is one of the most visited tourist attractions in Marrakech. And Bahia Palace was intended to be the greatest palace of its time when it was constructed in the 19th century. And an interesting fact, the name of Bahia Palace in Arabic means brilliance. And this is something that really comes across as you walk through this magnificent palace. The palace itself is made up of a number of different riads, varying in size and shape. And the palace is most famous for its elaborate and exquisite decorations. Its walls feature renderings carved with Arabic inscriptions. Its floors are paved with marble and zealot tiles. But make sure you look up. One of its most famous elements are the cedar wood ceilings painted with colourful floral patterns, along with the carved and painted wooden canopies of major doorways. It really is a delight to walk around and explore this beautiful place. This area of the palace is called the Small Courtyard, and this is situated in between the Small Riad and the Grand Courtyard. You'll find examples of lambrequine arches here, which is a type of arch with ornate profile of lobes and points, and it's especially characteristic of Moorish and Moroccan architecture. And because of that Moorish influence, Bahia Palace very much reminds me of some of the grand palaces that can be found in Andalusia in Spain. For example, Gibraltar or Alcazaba, which you can find in my videos for Malaga. At this point, you step into the Grand Courtyard, the undisputed heart of the palace. The floor is a vast expanse of Italian Carrara marble, encircled by a gallery uniquely coloured with bright blue and yellow plaster and woodwork. Heading out of the Grand Courtyard area, you head into another vast courtyard known as the Grand Riad or Large Riad. And this is a beautiful, tranquil garden setting, and along with its adjoining rooms, this is the oldest part of the palace, and it dates from the time of Simusa, the original owner in the 1860s. The courtyard is occupied, as its name implies, by a very large riad garden, which is still planted with trees from the 19th century. And just a little interesting fact, the term riad originates from the Arabic term for garden, hence the reason why the emphasis is on the outdoor spaces as opposed to the interior of the palaces. This place is a haven of tranquility just outside of the main Medina. It's just over the walls just behind me, but it's so peaceful, so tranquil here. Adjoining the Grand Riad, you'll find a number of elaborately decorated rooms, again, which are famous for their stunning painted wooded ceilings, but also their arches and stained glass windows. Some of these rooms are used for exhibitions and displays, such as on calligraphy and Spanish costume design, as was the case on my visit. In all, I'd say a visit to Bahia Palace is well worth it. It's amazing to find a place of such tranquility in the midst of the busy and manic Medina. It really is an architectural masterpiece. The entrance fee is 70 dirhams, and I'd say you're getting a lot for your money at this price. This is the end of the tour of Bahia Palace, but it's not the end of this video, because now we're moving on to... Welcome to Le Jardin Majorelle. Over in Rue Yves Saint Laurent, near the Galiz district of Marrakech, is Le Jardin Majorelle. And to enter, you have to purchase your tickets online, which are priced at about 150 dirhams per person, and you're given a slot of 30 minutes so as to enter. Le Jardin Majorelle is a botanical garden that was created by the French artist Jacques Majorelle over a period of almost 40 years starting in 1923. He lived here along with his wife from 1923 until their divorce in the 1950s. And the gardens and buildings form a complex where specific buildings are dedicated to various museums and exhibits of interest to visitors. The gardens house an important collection of cacti and sculptures. To me, it reminds me very much of my trip to San Diego from a few years ago, but you can also find a koi carp pond as well here. As you walk in and around Le Jardin Majorelle, you'll see that there's a huge connection to the French fashion designer Yves Saint Laurent, and there's a good reason for this. Following Jacques Majorelle's divorce in the 1950s, he was forced to sell the house and the land, and following this the garden was neglected and fell into disrepair. But the garden and villa were rediscovered in the 1980s by fashion designers Yves Saint Laurent and Pierre Berger, who set about restoring it and saving it. And this memorial honours the work that this pair did here prior to their deaths. In fact, the ashes of Yves Saint Laurent were actually scattered in Le Jardin Majorelle. This is an extremely stylish place with delightful gardens, Art Deco architecture, and excellent museums. But really, the colour blue is the overarching theme here, no matter where you look. This was a key hallmark of Majorelle's works and paintings, so much so that the colour has been dubbed and even trademarked as Majorelle blue. Le Jardin is both a photographer's vision of heaven and hell. As an amateur photographer myself, I love the striking colours and buildings on show, which nestle in quite nicely alongside the wide variety of cacti, plants and other forms of nature on show. But it can't be denied that there are a huge amount of people around, and it is difficult to get that perfect picture at times. But I guess the uniqueness and photogenic nature of this place has led it to become as popular as it is. That being said, you can see the reasons why influencers, bloggers and vloggers are sure to head over here. One adjective to describe this place: Instagrammable. All in all, Le Jardin Majorelle is quite a fun place to visit, though it wasn't my favourite place in Marrakech. I found the entrance fee to be quite steep, and you can cover most of the site in just over half an hour. But it is an interesting place, and if you're looking for a bit of time to kill whilst in Marrakech, I'd say to head over here. Thank you for watching this video. Check out my other videos on this channel. If you've liked what you've seen, please give me a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below. It really helps me out. I've been Mike the Travelling Scouser, and as always, you've been awesome. Ciao for now.